Yay. Okay. Here I am. Can you hear me? I'm here. Okay. I can't hear you, but if y'all can hear me, I'm just going to talk. Nope. I'm trying to read your lips. Okay. All right. We're just going to go with it. Thank you guys for getting on. If it weren't for technical difficulties, I don't know how that I would function. Pretty much every time I've hosted this call, we've had small issues. But you know what? That's the thing with this business. You roll with it. Everything's not going to always work out perfect, and you just figure out a way to get it done and make it happen and just rock on. So anyway, let's get started. I am Courtney Grill. For those of you who don't know me, I am Lindsay's sister. I am a 3-star, 4-star qualifying diamond. I am pushing for 5-star, so hopefully that pans out. You know what? Scratch that. That will happen Wednesday night. So anyway, I am always grateful to hop on and host calls. I always feel like I don't have anything new to add. And you know what? I'm okay with that because there's nothing really new that you have to do in this business. There's always new trainings and new developments on how things can be done, but the nitty-gritty of this business has not changed in the 4 years that I've been in this business. So I'm going to just really share what it is that I do each day in my business, and what I've been doing for the last 3 years. Goodness. This is also a family business. I need you to go upstairs and watch Kinder Eggs. I can't do it on this computer right now. Mommy's hosting a call, and I need you to go upstairs and watch Kinder Eggs, please, okay? No. Well, we may have a little buddy with us, but we're still going to make it through this call, and everything is going to be A-okay. So anyway, I've done the same things for the last 3 years in my business. I am all about simple. I have never been someone to focus on details or making things harder than it needs to be. So simplicity is golden for me. So I've been keeping my business simple with consistency, and that's what this call is going to be about. For those of you who don't know my history, you don't know my backstory, Lindsay brought this business to me when she first started. Of course, I'm her sister. I should have been like, hell yeah, like that sounds amazing, let's do it. But I wasn't. I absolutely wanted nothing to do with this business. I thought it was fantastic for her, like, you know, way to go, I hope you do well, but I wanted nothing to do with it. I was an x-ray tech. I'd gone to college for it. I was married. We had a house. We both had good incomes. I just didn't see how this business fit into my life at all, and so I wanted nothing to do with it. I also thought it was a joke, like it was going to be another like crazy thing that falls apart, and like Beachbody, and I didn't even know what it meant. And so I would listen to her, but then it was like, no, I'm sorry, it's just not something I want. I did do things to help her out in her business. I was drinking Shakeology. I drank it every day at lunch. People would ask me, what is that you're drinking? And it was like, I don't know, there's some shake. And they would read the bag, be all interested in it, and I would send them, to her. Well, here's her Facebook and here's her website. Go check it out there. I was signed up as a discount coach, but there again, it was only to help her business, and I wanted nothing to do with it. I was listening to National Wake Up Calls, Bombshell Dynasty calls, and then she would call me and say, so what do you think? And I was like, it sounds great. Again, for you, not for me. It wasn't until I was fired from my job that I gave any consideration to this business at all. I was fired from a very prestigious hospital for alcohol-related offenses, and then a week later found out I was pregnant. So I was pretty backed into a corner. There wasn't going to be a whole lot of hospitals that would hire me, one, because of the way I was fired, the reason I was fired, and two, the fact that I was pregnant. Knowing that they would train me just in time for me to go on maternity leave is not something that most places want to do. So I was pretty low in my life. My marriage was all but, it was completely falling apart. We were on the verge of divorce. We weren't very happy with each other. And then me being fired and then being pregnant added way more stress. So those are all circumstances that does not scream start your own fitness business. But in a conversation with Lindsay, I pretty much said, I don't know what I'm going to do. And she said, you could work your business. And that was kind of it. And so I decided, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot. What do I have to lose? Like, I have nothing going for me right now. I'll give it a try, So I started my business in December of 2012. I had never been in a challenge group. I had no idea what a challenge group was, but she said, start a challenge group. So I said, okay. And I just started. I had a lot of things against me. One, I'd been a smoker since I was 14. I was known as a drinker. I was a party girl. I was a very negative person, very hateful, foul mouth, just not someone that was attractive in the sense of, let me join her, she's going to change my life. And I knew that. I knew that I was a fast food eater, and everybody saw me that way. They saw me as a partier. They saw me as a drinker, a smoker. I wasn't the pillar of health. So I knew that in order to get people to take me seriously, I was going to have to build some credibility. I was going to have to change my persona, and not just on Facebook. I was going to have to actually change. So I started listening to the National Wake Up Calls and the Bombshell Dynasty calls and the DFG calls, and I was taking notes on everything. Just every time I listened to a call, anytime I listened to personal development on YouTube or any of the old speeches from Summit and things like that, I took notes. And when I was asked to do my first call, I pulled all those notes out, and all of the words that were highlighted and circled or starred or written in bold, those were the things that I knew that I needed to focus on the most. And those things were consistency, belief, and post. And this is something that still 3 years later, those are my focuses each day in this business. I focus on being consistent with the 3 vital behaviors. I focus on believing in myself, these products, and this business, and I focus on my post. Everything else kind of falls into place when those are my main focuses. So consistency. I think consistency gets mixed in with perfection, and that scares people. But consistency is not perfection. It's just not stopping. I have been consistently running challenge groups since December of 2012. I've run one, if not 2 or 3, every single month for the last 3 going on 4 years. That is something that I've been consistent with. I've been consistently a product of the product. Being a product of the product is simply that, just doing your workouts, just drinking your shake. I think that a lot of people get wrapped up in trying to sell the product, and it's so not about selling the product. Beachbody spends millions and millions and millions of dollars on advertising. You can't watch late night TV without seeing a infomercial. If you've scrolled through emails, like in the bottom of my emails, there's 21-day fix ads. Everywhere there's Beachbody TV. Every hotel I've ever stayed in, that's what's on the TV. So you don't have to sell the product. Beachbody is doing a fantastic job of that for you. It is everywhere. People are seeing it. Now they need to know if it works, and that's where you come in. The only way these people, the people who trust you, love you, believe in you, see you on Facebook every day, the only way they're going to know that this product works is if you're showing it to them. You don't have to show them an ad. You need to show them you. You need to be the face of your business. You are the only one who can be the product of the product. Sharing your results, telling people what you're doing. For me, when I was having to change my persona, all I knew is that they needed to see a change in me. And the best way that I could show them that I was changing was to literally show them I was changing. I posted my workouts every single day. I posted my bare belly every single day. And I know that that's not a comfortable thing for people, but you gotta show people you and your body. Lindsay said this in the call the other day. These post workouts that are chest up are fantastic. Sweaty selfies, wonderful. But you got to show the action. You got to show full body in motion. I am doing this. I'm not just speaking it every day. So product of the product, drink your shake. Man, these shakes are awesome. And for me to say that now is a big step because I'm serious. I drank that shake. I didn't like it in the beginning. I said that it wasn't something that I could see myself drinking every day. I said, I guess it's okay. It tastes like vitamins. Like I threw out every excuse that you guys hear because I didn't want to be doing it. So I came up with every excuse to not do it. But when I finally put all that aside and actually just drank it and tasted it, I like it. I do. I really like it. Like I even like greenberry. Tropical strawberry, totally different story, but I like it. It's good. It's good stuff. And so the fact that we get this amazing, good tasting product to share with people, talk about it. But yeah, they're cute in the cups and all that stuff. You show you drinking it. There again, Beachbody puts it out there. They can show pictures of the cups and the flavors and all of that. What your friends want to see is you drinking it, your family drinking it, and they want to know why you're drinking it. Everybody thinks that we drink this shake because we sell the shake, but that's not it. Like it's got to be what it's doing for you. I know personally, since I've been drinking Shakeology, I no longer sleep on a CPAP. I was taking 300 milligrams of Provigil every day because I fell asleep driving, talking, sitting, breathing. I fell asleep. And now I don't have to do that stuff anymore. And I know it's because my body is getting what it needed. It was falling asleep because it wasn't getting what it needed to function. And now it gets that. I no longer have psoriasis in my scalp. And how embarrassing that I can wear black and gray now without having to do this before I walk in somewhere. That's huge for me. My body was reacting to the fact that it wasn't getting what it needed. So it was shedding everywhere. That's personal for me. That was something I was embarrassed of. And that's something that I can now say that, me drinking Shakeology helped with. There's so many other things out there that Shakeology helps with. And if you are seeing any kind of benefit from it, scream it from the rooftops, because I'm telling you, there's so many people out there who think that we just drink this shake because we sell it. We got to talk about the emotional, the personal, the stuff that affects you. There are other people just like you that need to see that. So be a product of the product consistently. The other vital behaviors, of course, personal development. Huge, easiest one to skip out on. And I've been honest from day one that personal development is one of the hardest things for me to get on board with. Took me 6 months to read one book and even lied to Lindsay and told her I finished it and I didn't. I couldn't get on board with it. And there again, I used all those excuses too. I'm not a reader. I've never been a reader. I probably wouldn't have made it through high school English had it not been for my older sister who was a reader. Lindsay and I both used Frankie's notes to get through English. But you know what? It came down to I can use this tool to help me be a better person, to help better my business, or I can continue to use this excuse and cry about why my business isn't moving forward. And that's what it came down to. Every time that I would go to Lindsay and say, this person's doing better than me, or, why isn't this happening in my business? She would ask me, what are you reading? Are you reading a book? And the one thing that made it click for me is she said, if you're not doing personal development, you are lethally injecting your business. And it's the truth, because you are injecting your business with all of that negativity that swirls around in your heads, all of those no's, all of the haters, all of the negative stuff that gets thrown at us every day just swirls around in your head. And the only way that I could clear that stuff out was through personal development. I finally found the book that clicked for me. And I think that I was trying to force myself to read something that didn't really give me anything. And so I thought that I had to stick with that book because I started it. So if you feel that you're dragging through this book and it's just not getting you anywhere, close it, move on to the next thing. I do a lot of audio personal development now because I have a lot of downtime. Taking a shower, I consider that downtime. Getting ready, downtime. Driving in the car, downtime. I listen to personal development constantly now, and it always gives me that confidence, that seed, that one piece of advice that I needed to hear to get those negative thoughts out and to move forward. Because I spent a lot of time swirling in the why me's and the why she's and the this isn't workings. And when I turned it over and started working on myself, a lot of that went away, and I started to be okay with the no's. I started to be okay with my slow, business growth, because I was working on me. Like I said before, I was such a negative person, and people thought that I was all fun loving because that was what I put out there. But when it really came down to it, I was a broken, pitiful individual, and I played victim quite often. When I started to work on myself and see my strengths and my weaknesses, I was able to build my business better and stronger because I was able to use those things that were my strengths, and I was able to identify my weaknesses and work on those as well. I think that personal development is hard for some people because it's hard to look at yourself. Like, it's easy to work on your physical part, but it's harder to work on the emotional part, the inside. And it's easy to assume that it's the outside stuff when it's not. It's you, it's the inside. So if you're dodging out on your personal development, you gotta pick up a book, you gotta find some audio, you gotta fill your cup. You will see a huge change in your business. And I know that you're probably nodding your head like, yeah, I'm going to start that book tomorrow. But trust me when I say that it will be one of the greatest things that you can do for your business, because you'll be doing something for yourself. And then the others, invite. We probably nail these vital behaviors into your head like every week, but it's because they are the vital behaviors of the business. And when they're done consistently, your business will move forward. I'm telling you, there are so many like flashy things that are happening now in the businesses that you really don't need. These are the basics. These done consistently are what grows your business. And I'm telling you, this is what I focus on every day in my business. Inviting is probably the most scary for everyone, because it's vulnerable. It puts you out there in this place for someone to say no to you, and that's a scary thing. But the way I look at it, and it made things a lot easier for me, what we have is a golden opportunity. It is a gift. These people are not doing you a favor by buying a challenge pack and joining your challenge group. These people are being given a gift for joining you. We are fun. Like, challenge groups are fun. Like, we are a fun group of people. And when you start looking at inviting somebody to something that's fun, something that they'll enjoy, instead of it being a favor, it kind of changes things. It takes away that sting of a no, because they're missing out on this party. Invite as if you're inviting to a birthday party, right? We're having this huge celebration over here. Everyone's losing weight. Everyone's, gaining muscle. Everyone's happier. They're healthier. And we're having this huge celebration. Why don't you join us, right? Invite like that. Send that in a message. We are celebrating success over here. And if you want to be successful about something, if you want something to celebrate, then join us. Everybody knows when you go to a birthday party, there's an underlying, thing that you have to buy the gift. Well, they get to buy themselves a gift and they get to join the celebration. Why are they not doing this with us? And why are you not inviting them? Because you're being stingy with this gift. Like, really, that's what it boils down to. I know for me in the beginning, I was fearful that people were saying no to me because of who I was. Something that personal development helped with, and something that consistency helped with. When people started reaching out to me to say, I've been seeing what you're doing, you inspire me, you motivate me, it made inviting easier. It helped me see my own worth. It helped me see my own credibility as a coach. And then it made inviting so much easier. So sharing and inviting goes hand in hand. When you're consistently sharing your journey, consistently putting yourself out there, building your credibility as a coach, and then you see this opportunity for what it is, the gift, the fun, the celebrating, it kind of takes a lot of that edge off of inviting. So inviting is not just personal messages. And I used to think that as well. To invite, I just had to send out all of these personal messages to people and invite them to my group. And I used to send out mass messages about how losing weight is hard enough to do on your own. Why not do it together? And I would send it to like 25 people at a time, like all together. It was so embarrassing. But I was doing it because I didn't know what I was doing, but I was doing it. But then I figured out that most of your inviting is actually done through your personal page, because you're sharing your journey, because you're being consistent of being a product. You're putting all of that out there. You're sharing about your personal development. You're becoming this guiding light for people who need something, who need you. It makes that inviting so much easier because they see what you're doing. When you're sending out these messages, join my challenge group, and these people have no idea what you're talking about or what you're doing, that makes it's uncomfortable. But if they can go to your Facebook page and back it up and see that what you're inviting to really is fun, really is change, really is, something that they can get on board with and enjoy, totally takes the edge off. So, those are the things that I focus on and that I am the most consistent with. Beachbody has now added in a fourth vital behavior, which really just adds to the fun of it, because we were already doing it anyway, is recognition. If you don't have anyone in your team to recognize, and you don't have anybody in your challenge groups yet to recognize yourself. Give yourself a big old pat on the back for working out 3 days this week, or drinking your shake every day, or finishing a chapter of a book. Whatever it is that you need to put out there to recognize yourself for the hard work that you're putting in, do that. And then these people gives people even more to see of what you're doing and the fact that you're happy about it. Bring those people in, and then recognize them for doing a good job. We just did a thread in my challenge group where everybody posted all of their most recent progress pictures and their most recent weight loss or muscle gain, and I was just blown away at the hard work that these people do. And it made me realize that I'm not recognizing my challengers near enough for what they've done. People like to have a pat on the back. When I worked at the hospital, the number one complaint every single year from the employees is that they were not recognized for their hard work. And, they would do these cheesy little things, like they would give us cookies. Then we would get a 25-cent cookie for, our hard work. And people were like, really? We're adults. We're getting cookies from the cafeteria. Thanks. But they just didn't know how to recognize our hard work on such a massive level. And Beachbody gives us the ways to recognize, our people. We make all of these cute banners and we post them on each other's wall, and we have Facebook and tons of people following that give out these congratulations. They have the rank, so that you can say that you're a diamond coach, you can say that you're an emerald, a star diamond, a ruby, whatever you are. They send you the tank tops. Beachbody bends over backwards to recognize us with elite and premier, and they always give you something to work for so that you can be recognized for your efforts. And a lot of corporate America misses out on that. Their employees would be so much happier if they had a way to mass recognize the way Beachbody does. So strive for those things. Strive for those things to be recognized with, and recognize the people who are striving underneath you. All right, belief. I don't know how long I've been going because, gosh, I stuck on consistency for a long time, but I'm telling you, consistency is where it's at. If you aren't being consistent, if you're a yo-yo coach, you can't build credibility that way. The visual that I like to give to my coaches is you're pushing this huge rock up a hill, right? And you're pushing and you're pushing, but then something in your life happens and you have to stop for a minute, right? So you're just standing there on the side of this hill holding this rock, and it's starting to get heavy, but you're not moving anywhere because you're over here doing focusing on something else, but you're still standing there holding your rock. But the longer you stand there, the heavier it's going to get. And slowly, slowly, you're going to start backing down that hill, right? That's where consistency comes in. If every day you take one step up that hill, pushing that rock, you don't have a chance to go backwards. It's going to be heavy and it's going to be hard, but you're going to constantly move up that hill. Yo-yo coaches, that rock is heavy, isn't it? And every time you go back to push your rock back up the hill, your arms are weaker and weaker and your legs have to work more. So keep that visual in your head. When something comes up or you need to take a break or life gets hard, or, you're going to put coaching on the back burner for just a minute, just imagine yourself standing on the side of that hill trying to hold up that rock. And then when you're ready to come back and start pushing it again, you're going to be super tired, and it's going to make your legs work a whole lot harder than if you would have kept taking one step each day in the direction of consistency. All right. So belief. Belief is a huge thing in this business. Belief is one of the things I struggled with the most in this business. I expressed to you that how negative I was and how afraid I was of failure in this business. I thought that no one was going to trust me or believe in me. And even though I was doing the work and putting it out there, I still had the fear in my head of, when is this going to fall apart? When is this going to be another failure for me? I'm a self-sabotager. So I was waiting for it to blow up in my face. I was waiting for me to tear it all down like I'd done everything else. So I said to myself, if I can't believe in myself, I'm going to believe in the things that I can believe in. And what I did believe in were the products, because obviously they're working. I was getting great success. I had the baby. I'm losing my baby weight. These products work. I see people all over Facebook using these products. The products work. Like, there's no doubt in that. Like, if you work, the products work. So I believed in that. I believed in this business. I had no idea what an MLM was, but I saw that it was working, and I saw that people were making money, and I was starting to make a little bit of money. So I believed that that could work. The missing link and the piece that held me back was the belief in myself. It took me a year to go diamond, and it's because I truly couldn't believe that I was going to make this business work. Even though I was making the steps, taking the steps, I got to emerald really fast, and I was bringing challengers in, and I was making a little bit of money, and I was hitting Success Club every so often. I just did not believe that I could be a top coach. It was all, a rank advancing coach. It was always in my goals we would do these push groups, and it would be, you know, my goal would be diamond. And then I would say like diamond by December, and it would be March, you know. I would put these like really long goals, because I truly didn't believe that I could make them happen, because I was subconsciously waiting for it to crumble. Um, when I finally got to diamond in December, that's when everything clicked for me. That's when I realized that I was the only person standing in my way from making this happen. The constant telling myself that this wasn't for me, I wasn't going to be able to do it. You know, yes, this business works, and yes, the products are great, but it's going to fall apart. I'm waiting for it to happen. You know, saying all of that stuff to myself in my head all the time limited me so much. I could have been diamond way faster than a year. I held myself back, and I realized that once I got to diamond. It's like, holy cow, like this isn't that hard, and I'm doing it. I'm holding myself back. And, you know, my sister believed in me, and, you know, my coaches believed in me, and there were people who trusted me and, you know, were trusting me to lead them in this business, but I couldn't believe in myself enough to make it happened. Like, that was stupid, and it clicked. And it was like, you know, if all of these people can believe in me, if my sister can believe in me and had believed in me this whole time, why can't I believe in myself? And so it clicked. And that's when my business turned around. And, you know, I actually started treating my business as a business. It wasn't just something fun. It wasn't just challenge groups. It was actually building a business. My income started to increase. I was strategic with my planning and my post, and, you know, bringing in coaches. I started running my own sneak peeks. I started, you know, doing the things that diamond coaches and building coaches were supposed to do. And I I did. Like, it just took me believing in myself to push myself forward in this business. I named my challenge, or my coach group, Inspired Belief, because it took it took an inspired took it it took an inspired belief in myself to create this business, or to build my business. And so that's where our team name comes from. So, you know, if you can't believe in yourself yet, or if you just aren't there, that's okay. Believe in these products, believe in this business, because it works. And I'm telling you, the action that you create, and the more steps you take forward, the more the belief you will have in yourself. Personal development, again, was played a huge role in that for me. So that's the second thing that I focus on constantly, is just the belief power that this is possible for anybody if you're willing to do the work. All right, and post. All right, posts are so important. Posts are how we get our story out there. No matter what, you know, outlet you're using, you have to be sharing, posting, constantly putting it out there. There are three things that I focus on when I make a post. Am I adding value? Am I sharing my journey? And am I getting personal? In a lot of the trainings, it's always said that you need to have, you know, your 5 things to post about. And I always felt a little lost in that, because I really didn't feel like I had 5 things. I mean, of course I had my family, and, you know, I have my fitness, and, yeah, I really didn't, like, I felt like I had family and Beachbody, and I didn't really have anything else. I'm not a makeup person. I'm not a fashion person. I'm not, um, you know, super crafty. Like, you know, I didn't really feel like I had anything else to fill that gap. But honestly, I don't really need anything else to fill the gap. My family is super important, and my business is super important. And those are the 2 key components that make up, you know, who I am. So I use what was given to me, the 3 vital behaviors, to make my post. And do I add value? I found that the only way for me to create a following for myself was to share what I was doing. Like I said before, I was not someone that anybody was going to take health and fitness advice from. So I started adding value by sharing my changes. I shared every meal that I made, recipes. People came to my page to see what I was eating, whether it was something crazy off the wall or was something that they, you know, could see themselves making. But I was learning how to clean eat through my Facebook page. And there are a lot of people learned how to clean eat with me, because I was clueless there. And a lot of people are clueless about clean eating. So I just constantly put what I was eating out there. And that added value to my page and gave people something to come to me for. You guys have so much in your lives that you can add value with. If you are a fashion person, a makeup person, whatever it is that you have and and you can share that with other people to inform other people, get that out there. That is how you add value. And that is what that means. It's like just to put something out there to get people to come to your page. Me being such a negative person, I started sharing my personal development. I started sharing my aha moments. There for a while, when I used to do car pickup line, I had a book that I read in car pickup, and every day I would share my car line aha moment. And that got traction. That got people coming to my page. They wanted to see as a person. I started getting messages from old coworkers and old friends, and it was like, we don't know what you're doing, but you're a totally different person. And we like it. We like this new girl. And people would come to me for personal development recommendations, which was crazy. For me to go from such a sour, angry person to now somebody who is sharing my book recommendations, or, what do you think I should read for this? And, this is what I struggle with. Strangers. I know you don't know me very well, but this is where I'm at. And, what kind of book do you think I should get for this? Blew my mind. But I was sharing the changes I was making in myself, and that was adding value to people's lives. So anytime I make a post, I ask myself, am I going to, is this adding value? Am I sharing my journey? And am I being real or emotional about it? Sharing your journey is easy. We've discussed that. I'm like, not even going to go back over it. Be a product of the product, talk about your Shakeology, recognize your people, share everything that you're doing and just put it out there. People want to see it. And the people who don't want to see it, their loss. Rhino skin, water off a duck's back, like whatever. You keep moving forward. That's your Facebook page. There's going to be people who don't like it, and that's their problem. They have something wrong inside of them. And if they keep watching, it's because they know it and they want to change it, but they don't know how. And you just keep being a light for them. So share your journey unapologetically all day long, consistently, and then get emotional. That's getting emotional doesn't necessarily mean like tearful, emotional, but just share your personal side of it. A lot of us have really bad histories, and a lot of us are extremely open about our histories, and that's not always easy for everybody. And then there are those people who didn't have a bad life. And you know what I say to those people? Good for you. You can still get emotional and you can still be personal without having a sad story. I'm glad that there are people in this world who didn't have a sad story. Their parents stayed together their whole marriage. They didn't struggle their whole growing up years. They're still married. They love each other very much. You didn't have financial struggles as a child. You didn't really want for anything. You grew up, you got married, you have a great spouse, y'all have kids, and if it is, good, because you know what? There are tons of other people out there just like you. You don't have to have a sad story to have a story in Beachbody, because you came to Beachbody for a reason. You need extra money because your husband makes all kinds. That's fine. You didn't come to this for the business side of it, or, you know, the money side of it. You came to it for a reason, though. What was that reason? Share it. Maybe, you know, your husband does make money and you don't feel like you contribute to the family in any kind of way. Now you have something that fulfills you and contributes to the family or contributes to other people. Share that, because there are tons of other women out there, or men, I don't want to generalize, you know, that just need something to fill that empty space. And if Beachbody is doing that for you, that's what you get personal about. That's what you get emotional about. It doesn't have to be a, you know, an ugly duckling to swan kind of thing to get people's attention and to speak to people. I get that a lot. Um, you know, I did have, you know, some struggles that I had to overcome. And so it's easy for me to share about that. It's easy for me to share about being fired from my job and, you know, struggling with alcohol and, you know, a failing marriage. You know, those are easy things for me to overcome and to share about. But that's my niche market. Those are the people I'm talking to. Those are the people that I want to bring in and help, the people who are like me. So figure out what it is that brought you into Beachbody. What is it that Beachbody is filling for you? That's what you get emotional about. That's what you share about. Because I'm telling you, there are so many people out there that are just like you that you're going to speak to and you're going to influence. You know, be be happy about the fact that you're happy, and that's great, because there are happy people who still need health and fitness. There are happy people who need a group of supporting people. You know, again, we have just an amazing opportunity that come with amazing people, the connections, the friendships, the support. I have never seen anything like this. I mean, think about how many people from across this country support you and believe in you and like your post just because they feel something special about this as well. That's an incredible thing for me. So that's it. I mean, that's really my system for moving my business forward. It's nothing fancy. It's not any new technology. It's not, you know, any new trainings, and I'm not doing anything special. I feel like I'm just following the basics and putting myself out there and inviting people to join me in this celebration. So I think that's it. How am I on time? Yeah, cool. This is my first YouTube live, so I don't know how to like end it, or I guess you can't really do questions or anything, huh? No, I can't hear you, but I can read your lips. I don't know. I know, right? So weird. Um, thanks. No, it's been a blast. And you know, if you've watched my other calls, it's pretty much, you know, that's it for me. I'm very simple. I'm very um consistent, and you know, Lindsay does an amazing job of offering trainings, and you know, gosh, the DFG TFE team ups of all of the diamond trainings and emerald trainings and all of the things out there. Beachbody does such an amazing job of providing resource after resource after resource, you know, if you want to branch out. But if you're like me and you just need something simple to follow, then, you know, the 3 vital behaviors are it. You know, be consistent, believe in yourself, and just put it all out there and post about it, and you will see growth in your business. So, all right. Well, I love you guys, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye.